Number 5. Rampage in China. In November 2014, CCTV cameras in Lishan City in China's Sichuan province captured a water buffalo as it rampaged through the streets. More than a dozen people were injured in an attack that lasted about 40 minutes. Some residents were chased through an intersection by the enraged beast. The water buffalo charged Lian Qurong while she was on her bicycle. She was trampled repeatedly by the beast and had to be taken to a hospital. It took roughly 10 gunshots from the police officers before the water buffalo was finally put down. An investigation was launched to determine how the animal had gotten loose in the first place. Water buffaloes are large and strong bovines that live in the wild as well as in captivity as domesticated animals. Their numbers greatly differ, as there are only a few thousand wild water buffaloes left. Although viewed as a separate species, it's a probable ancestor of the domesticated variation. These massive beasts have a robust build and horns that curve backwards in a semicircle. Their horns are often cited as being among the largest in the animal kingdom. One specimen, mentioned in the Guinness Book of Records, had horns that measured nearly 14 feet from tip to tip. To put that into perspective, it's about as long as a Nile crocodile. Water buffaloes have a hairless hide and are typically black or slate-like in color. The wild variation is larger, but exceptional domesticated specimens may grow to be over 2,200 pounds, which is roughly twice as heavy as a polar bear. Based on their looks and behavior, two types have been recognized, namely river water buffaloes and swamp water buffaloes. The former have longer faces, bigger limbs, and are usually less stocky. All types and species of water buffaloes are potentially dangerous towards humans through their sheer size, strength, and speed. Number 4. Jack Keane. Australian man Jack Keane was the victim of a vicious water buffalo attack while on holiday in the country's Northern Territory. He was tracking pigs alongside his sister's partner when they were chased by the animal. The water buffalo charged Keane and threw him into the air with its head. He'd landed next to a tree, and as he was struggling to get up, the water buffalo attacked him again from behind. It gored Keane in the back of the leg, inflicting a wound about 2 inches deep and 7 inches long. His travel companion emerged unscathed from the attack and was able to apply a tourniquet to Keane's injured leg. He helped him walk roughly 2 miles to the boat they'd arrived with, and afterwards, the man was airlifted to a hospital in Darwin. The medical professions managed to close the gash in his leg, and Keane was on his way to a full recovery. Wild water buffaloes, with a total population of about 3,400 individuals, are mostly found in Assam, India. Domesticated water buffaloes are far greater in number, with a global population of around 172 million. India is once again home to the largest percentage, followed by China, the Philippines, and Vietnam. These animals have been domesticated for at least 5,000 years. They're ideal for working in the deep mud of paddy fields and are arguably better for plowing than oxen and horses. Water buffaloes are used for transportation as pack animals or to power mills, presses, and devices for raising water. Every year, these animals contribute 3 million tons of meat and 76 million tons of milk to the global food production. Additionally, their hide provides tough leather, while the bones and horns are made into jewelry and musical instruments. Much like its common name would indicate, this creature is very comfortable around water and mostly feeds on aquatic plants. Both swamp and river buffaloes are well adapted to a hot and humid climate. River buffaloes prefer deeper water, while swamp buffaloes usually make holes in the mud with their horns, then wallow, acquiring a thick coat of mud. Number 3. SRITHON MANOTA. SRITHON MANOTA, a resident of Mae Sai in Thailand's Chiang Rai province, was left with bloody puncture wounds after a water buffalo attack. MANOTA had let the animal out to eat some grass, but something spooked it. Some witnesses claimed it got shocked by a short piece of rope. The beast violently charged the 68-year-old, causing him to collapse. A video of the incident was posted online, but it only shows the end of the attack. MANOTA can be seen helplessly lying on the ground as the buffalo gores his legs. Other villagers manage to scare away the buffalo. They then carry Manota, who was in severe condition, to a vehicle so that he could be taken to the hospital. The extent of the damage the man had sustained wasn't fully reported. However, injuries on his head and the rest of his body were consistent with stab wounds from the buffalo's horns. Today's topic was requested by Instagram follower at Logan.1024. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Or follow us on Instagram and reach out to us there. Its physical prowess is why the water buffalo is often referred to as the living tractor of the East. The same power that enables it to plow through swathes of land is what makes this creature potentially deadly towards humans. Even though it's massive, the water buffalo can charge at up to 30 miles per hour. The force of impact is enough to break bones and cause massive internal damage. The beast will use its horns and strong neck muscles to launch its victim several feet into the air or gore them on the ground. Horn strikes can compress or puncture the ribs or sternum and damage internal organs. The water buffalo can easily trample a human being to death because of its massive hooves and flexible foot joints. The animal's physicality is celebrated in the tradition of several Asian countries through fighting and racing competitions. There are festivals in Vietnam and Thailand in which water buffaloes are pitted against each other after being methodically trained for months in advance. Every year in downtown Chonburi in Thailand, roughly 300 buffaloes race in groups of 5 or 6 in front of a crowd of hundreds. They're spurred on by bareback jockeys wielding wooden sticks. Racing buffaloes are usually raised specifically for competition and don't work at all. Other competitions involving water buffaloes take place in Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Both the animals and humans that take part in them risk injury to some extent. Number 2. Din Xuan Huang. In July 2017, a video of a horrific water buffalo attack emerged online, becoming a stark reminder of how dangerous these beasts can truly be. The attack happened during a water buffalo fighting festival in Phong, northern Vietnam. The festival was a tradition in homage to the water goddesses, while also meant to honor ideals like bravery and sacrifice. Din Xuan Huang had been training fighting bulls for nearly a decade before realizing his dream of owning one himself. The experience would soon become nightmarish for the 46-year-old. The bull became enraged and chased the rival owner before turning its attention on Huang. The graphic footage shows the bull striking him in the backside with its head. Then, as the man is struggling to get a hold of the animal, the bull gores him in the leg. It then throws Huang about 14 feet through the air and over its back. The brutal somersault ends in a hard landing, but unfortunately, it wouldn't be the end of the man's ordeal. As Huang struggles on his knees to get back to his feet, the bull plows into his head, instantly knocking him unconscious. The man died at the hospital after sustaining catastrophic wounds to his spine, legs, and brain. Since bullfighting competitions resumed in the country after the Vietnam War was over, several water buffaloes had died in duels, but Huang was the first human fatality. The buffalo responsible for the attack was shot and the festival was suspended. An investigation was launched to determine if any of the animals had been given stimulants to increase their aggression. Wild water buffalo form clans of up to 30 individuals that congregate at resting areas in herds of several hundred members. These groups should be given a wide berth to avoid defensive behavior and potential stampedes. Large carnivores such as tigers, crocodiles, and Asian black bears prey on these animals, so they're often forced to fight for their lives. The charge of a wild water buffalo, whether it's domestic or wild, can be evaded by using elements in the environment. This means going for higher ground while using trees, rocks, and other structures to break the animal's charge. Running in a zigzag pattern is recommended, and it's crucial to avoid falling while attempting to evade a charging buffalo. Attacks from domesticated buffaloes are harder to predict, but are sometimes the result of mistreatment by the animal's owners. Before we continue, official They Will Kill You merchandise is now available at theywillkillyou.com. Stop clowning around and check it out, because your purchases really help support the channel. Number 1. Ralph and Peter Jump. Ralph Jump and his 19-year-old son Peter both lost their lives after a water buffalo turned on them at a farm in Gwahelog, Monmouthshire, Wales. Ralph Jump had rented the property in hopes of starting a sustainable buffalo soap business. The decision of moving to the countryside had been made about a year prior. It was after Jump, a wealthy businessman, had suffered a near-fatal heart attack. He wanted to make a fresh start and live a healthier lifestyle. Unfortunately, the transition ended in tragedy. In May of 2020, one of his buffaloes had escaped its pen. As Jump and his son were trying to get it back in, the animal went wild. Jump was brutally trampled and died at the scene. Peter was airlifted to a hospital in Cardiff, where he succumbed to his injuries later that month. Jump's daughter Isabel had also sustained leg injuries in the attack, but was treated and released from hospital. The water buffalo that had claimed the lives of the two men was put down. Thanks for watching. Would you rather face a charging water buffalo or have a tooth pulled without anesthesia? Let us know in the comments section below.